stained glass.
Do you remember what colors?
I'm going to say, oh boy, orange, blue.
So it was a combination of.
Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, it was really cool. And this was all colored glass. In fact, that's the original glass.
Most of it.
Right.
Yeah, there was a couple,
right.
couple like that. That's a different skin. And
right.
Different patterns. So we've actually, we've reproduced it.
Really?
Yeah. So we're going to replace all the glass.
You're fabulous. I'm really. The back, by the way, were the classrooms. There were 3. They were divided. There was really just one big one, but they were divided by partitions.
And that was that wasn't designed by Kaufman. That was added in 1960.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It's amazing. So when you were here, it was still evaporative cooling. So it was
always, never air conditioning, never.
And
it was hot as hell. Is that on tape?
No, it's
no, it was. I mean,
the first time I heard about it was I interviewed Bill Levine because I was trying to get him.
Sure.
I was trying to get him, and he was like, he had no interest. I couldn't get him to talk about the synagogue. He's like, I schwitz there. I don't care about it.
I know.
I was like, but it's historic.
I talked to him too about it.
He's like, I don't care.
Bill and I are good friends, and we actually, my dad and Bill's dad were friendly, and then we met Bill here. Bill came here in 1960 to Phoenix. And it's funny that he took on that attitude. I'm surprised. I really am.
At that point, that was before the crash. So before the crash and before my bank disappeared, I knew Susan Goldwater because Susan Goldwater Levine. I knew Susan from friends with Allison Goldwater. So I called up Susan, and we had talked before, and she was an advocate and understood the value of the story and the architecture. And so she got me a meeting with Bill, and I sat across from him, and it was like she kept on nudging him, and he wouldn't budge. I was like, "We're from Brooklyn. We're from Flatbush Avenue.
Right. I know.
We both like Y.A. Tittle.
Right.
I couldn't."
Yeah, he's a big Giant Yankee, New York Giant fan. New York Giant baseball.
Right.
And not a Yankee.
You know, my dad was a New York Giants, so we talked about my dad being a Giants fan, and Willie Mays,
and I was like, that.
Yeah.
And today's Willie Mays' birthday.
Right. Oh, today. Well, there you go. Perfect.
May 6th.
Yeah, and then
I'm a big baseball fan.
And Rodriguez just tied his.
I can't stand it.
Yeah. but it was. I couldn't. I was like.
It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I have to tell you, this turns me on. I literally get the chills because I tried to do this. We looked at it. Norman Fox, and all, and but I'm so way to go. That's all.
Well, I'm still like so. Ultimately, what I'd like to do, I mean, it is. Right now, I'm renovating it solo, but ultimately, I'd like it to turn it into a nonprofit, put it into the 501c3. Bill just did this phenomenal $25 million donation to the U.S. Holocaust Museum on Holocaust education, to continuing it, and it would be great if they were able to have these exhibitions here. So yeah, right now I'm just gonna renovate it, get it up and running, and then figure out how to turn it into the 501. But we'll definitely.
I'd like that.
We'll talk about that. I don't need to talk on camera on that. Yeah. Now, this is more about the history of.
Right.
So here's some of the. So do you remember what the BMO was like?
Totally.
Okay.
I totally tell you. 2 stairs on either side. 2 sets of stairs. Well, actually, time out.
Okay.
Right.
You can see the shadow,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm just trying to see whether. I can't remember how far it extended. It extended out probably this far, with 1 step up and maroon carpeting, and then
maroon.
And then this was the next step up here, and this is where where we laid the Torah. The Torah, that was the ark right there. This is where we laid the Torah, though, right here. Right? Okay? And 2 sets of stairs going up, probably 5 or 6 stairs on each side. And this is where the cantor stood. The choir was around. It was kind of a little mini beam.
It was
here.
Orthodox with a choir.
Oh, it was conservative,
so
leaning on Orthodox. It was conservative all the way.
Gotcha.
But there were Rabbi Neuberger came. He went a little bit Orthodox, a little bit. Not and like I said, the minyan and the kosher kitchen.
Right.
You couldn't bring anything in, So, but it was totally conservative with just touches of Orthodox. Okay. I'm very unorthodox, but yeah.
And then.
No.
and then the ark. Let me pull the plastic. I'll bring you up here. Here, come on up. There's stairs. Yeah. Maroon. I love the maroon carpet.
Yeah.
Because like there's like these little pieces of green.
Oh shit. Yeah. Oh my god.
You want me to get a light for the? You want me to get a light for the school? Let me get a light.
Okay. Yeah.
My wife is a professional reporter. She's going to kill me because I always take really bad interviews.
Oh. Well, no, it's not.
She's gonna have to re-interview you.
She's a journalism woman.
Yeah. TV.
Oh, really? Is she doing here or not?
She's from Phoenix.
Oh,
yeah.
What's her name?
Heather Mays. There's now Heather Levine.
Oh, I know that name. Yeah. I know that name.
It's Aubrey's daughter, Aubrey Mays.
Pardon me?
Aubrey Mays' daughter.
Oh, okay. Fine. Yeah, this is...
Aubrey makes the rounds at, I think, all the synagogues. Yeah, that's the original color. That's the green.
Right. Oh, God, yeah, exactly. Right. So this was one classroom, and it went to... It's here. There were ugly sliding doors with a little lock right here for this, and then this was the middle room, and this is the middle room. Oh my God! This was our Hebrew school room right here. This is and there's somebody else I'm gonna bring down here too. This is fabulous, really.
You like the windows blocked in?
Oh yeah, I know. Isn't that amazing?
But all the original fabric is here. It's it's a cliche. It's the
right.
The best preservation is neglect.
Right. There you go. Yeah.
So the question about the EVAP and going back to Bill's commentary about the schwitzing.
Right.
If the amount of damage that's on here, and when we took these front walls down, my theory is that everyone probably there was probably black mold and mildew 24/7, 12 months out of the year. So it must have been really hard to breathe in here. Not a good.
It's funny. I don't recall that.
Okay.
And we don't. It's funny today. Everything's taken to the next level in everything, as we know. And as a journalist myself, believe me, wow, I'm so ashamed of my profession right now.
So do you know Jeff Piletsky?
Jeff Paulette.
Yeah, Paulette.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Okay. That's what Jeff.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah. Well, Jeff has done lots of real estate transactions with my in-laws.
Oh, he has?
He actually got our house for us in Windsor.
Jeff and I are lifelong friends.
Oh,
from Beth Hebrew.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, Rhonda just called me because Rhonda has a
the Torah cover.
The Torah. Oh,
yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
She called up. Yeah.
Okay, because I told her that I got her your name, so I told her to. Okay, yeah, we're lifelong friends.
That's awesome.
Her mom just passed away a year ago. We were.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah.
And in her 90s. Right?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Oh yeah. I mean, Lou Paulette, her grandfather, their grandfather was one of the founders. He's in that original picture.
Yeah, Morris and his spelled Maurice.
Yes.
Right.
In fact, another great friend of ours, and I did not realize that he was in Sam Block, who owned Arizona Pipe and Steel, where I used to work in the summer. And Sam Block was out of a book, and he was one. If you get me that picture, I'll show you which one he is. He wasn't identified, I don't think, on that picture.
Really?
No, I don't think he was. But where did you find that picture, by the way?
Well, some of the picture. Well, most of the stuff was from a box that Fred Loewy had given to the Arizona Jewish Historical Society.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I can put this on camera. The difficulty was, back in 2007, the Black Theater Troupe had sold the building down the river and said it wasn't historically significant and it was structurally unsound, using Smith Group as its architect. And there was a bond money, all this kind of stuff. And everyone wanted, most architects don't want to do adaptive reuse. They just want to build new.
Right.
And the land values had gotten high.
Right.
And Larry Bell didn't want this building to be saved.
He didn't? Screw Larry Bell.
Yeah, well,
excuse my French.
Yeah, no, but
that's not on.
No. It's yeah. But the whatchamacallit,
I don't know him well.
Well, no, but the problem was, in fairness to him, he was trying to save his own synagogue.
Of course.
And he was trying to protect himself. And
of course.
So you asked where the images came from. Fred left this box and this treasure trove of the Phoenix Gazette, Greater Phoenix Jewish News, all these photographs, groundbreaking papers from all the congregants, I guess the Loews owned Ace Radio. So a lot of stuff was written. A lot of his notes were written on Ace Radio and what the groundbreaking was going to be like, and some of them were Elias's notes. So he was saving his dad's stuff, and we had a hard time prying it from Mr. Bell. And I scanned everything and then gave him the box back. But that was 7.5 years ago. So even in the last 7.5 years ago, it's still a little fuzzy. I tried to document, and I would send out emails. I drive by this building every week to.
It's a wonder we didn't crash.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to get your on the ark.
Yeah, the original carpet's still there. Jesus, I came to some things here when the Black Labor Troop was here. Yeah.
So the ark, we've been finding different pieces of the plaster.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
So it seems that when the church took over, they just demolished the CMUs and bent the rebar over. So we actually found a couple of races and stained glass.
Oh my goodness!
And my guess is that Mr. Kaufman probably made the stuff in his shop.
That's very possible. Well, yeah, the ark. In fact, look at that. There's the lighting. Yeah, remember that.
So, but I mean, here you see the blue, the baby blue.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is massive.
Yeah.
So it had to be an enormous structure.
Oh, it was. It was. It stood as tall as this. By the way, this was. Yeah. These lights. This would shine down on the ark. Okay.
Right.
And it was big enough to hold 3 towers, for sure. And I remember we got a tower from. Somebody donated something, a tower from Israel that had been through a lot, and that was a big deal. That was a big night, fundraising night.
Right.
And when the mortgage was burned, that was a big deal. That happened in about, I'd say 70 or 71, the mortgage burning. Yeah, big deal, of course. And there were only literally a handful of folks that were major contributors, because as I said, the synagogue was not a wealthy synagogue at all. And it was Beth Israel, Beth El, and Beth Hebrew, but they were here, and Beth Hebrew was here. Yeah. And these were the doors. That was the rabbi's study. So that was the door coming from his study, and this was the office door. And now I'm going to let you in on a really interesting secret, which can or cannot be. I don't know.
I won't show anything. I won't show anything unless you get approval.
Yeah. Okay. And I would do this again in a different. If we can really sit down, because I love talking about it.
No, this is great.
Was all wonderful wood panel. It was beautiful. Yeah. It was.
We're
gorgeous.
stripping it. Yeah.
It was gorgeous. Oh yeah. This was all that. Okay. And it was taken care of. I remember. A couple every 2-3 years or so, whatever, it was treated. Yeah, it was very. That was the real excitement of this whole was beautiful. Yeah.
Did you know the Beliaks?
Oh sure, right. Although, Bob is, I guess, still around. Jimmy passed away. And the parents passed away.
So it's Ben Beliak? Is now Chaim Beliak. He's a rabbi.
Oh, is he really?
And he has a community in a synagogue that he works with in Poland.
Oh my goodness!
So I was contacting him, and I met him by accident through Andy Gordon. I was on a multi-bank. So Andy was talking to Chaim when his daughter was getting married, and then they started talking, and people. So Chaim told me the stories about his dad hanging out front during Yom Kippur eating hamburgers, and really? I felt awful that I missed interviewing him because Mr. Beliak says that his dad did the paneling, installed the paneling in '55. So do you know Mardian?
Marty Construction, you mean?
Yeah. So Mardian built this building.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to get to Dan Jr. Because I spoke to Max Kaufman's son, Richard Kaufman, and he thinks that Mardian could have the original blueprints.
Wow, that would be fabulous. Oh my God.
This is cool that you're a builder because and in journalism because
the combination
you might be able to follow a lot of these leads and
right. Let me see what.
So does this give you any memories standing at the?
Are you kidding?
The beam?
Oh God! I mean, this was.
Remembering your